Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And today we are doing the NFL Beast Picks Wild Card Playoff Edition. Joining me is the reigning 48.
That's me.
Yes. And it's close. We both went 10-6 last week, so we were basically just 10 more wins ahead, so it's one up in favor of you for the
Season.
season right now. So yeah. Um so yeah, it's close, much closer than last year. Last year you were beating me by I think like it was 5 or something last year.
I think last year I had a 10 lead or 10 win going into the playoffs, and you caught up on a little in the playoffs.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a much closer one this time around. But nonetheless, let's get to the playoffs here. And both of our teams have made the playoffs. Um, my team had to beat the Bears. We still own the Bears, by the way. And your team owns the Miami Dolphins. Uh,
Josh Allen, I believe, is listed on Wikipedia as the father of the Miami Dolphins.
but by the way, though, to be fair, you guys were going in to that game with a playoff berth secured because Jacksonville did lose, but you still want to get that division at the end of the day, and it was a hard fought battle. Shout out to the defense because the defense, in my opinion, won that game. Um, Holding the Dolphins down the way they did, especially
The,
when Allen could not finish drives.
the
Uh,
defense did more than win that game. The defense won me
well, yeah,
$560.
but I just think like I think they don't win without that the defense. The defense after they got that 14 points on them, they didn't allow anything after that, and it felt like for a long time that game it felt like the Dolphins had it. It felt like it was like a 20-point swing for the Dolphins. It was only a touchdown game. That's how it felt to me. But then Allen couldn't get over the hump with some of the drives, but then finally the punt return happened, and then the momentum just kind of swung after that in favor of the Bills. And I don't know what you felt on that game, but that's kind of how I felt with that game.
I'm going to pretend I wasn't a complete mental patient, and we're just going to say that I'm happy that they won, and they won me $500.
All right, perfect. Nonetheless, the first game of Wild Card Weekend we have on Saturday, we have the 4:30 game. We have the Cleveland Browns, Joe Elite Flacco taking on the Houston Texans in Houston. Who are the favorites here?
Cleveland is a 2-point favorite.
And I think they should be. They did beat them. To be fair, though, Houston's quarterback wasn't playing. CJ Stroud wasn't playing that game the last time they did play. But nonetheless, I still think inexperience versus experience. Cleveland Browns have a much better defense. The Houston Texans, even though they got the home game, excuse me, this is a rebuilding team. That overachieved. I think this is an overachieving team, because this is a rebuilding team. This is a young team that got to the playoffs much sooner than I think they should have, but because they're in a weaker division, they were able to get there. Um, I'm going to say the Cleveland Browns win. I'm going to give this one 34 to 20. It's going to be tight for a little bit, but then the Browns are going to have the experience with the defense, especially if you get a swing on the defense. The defense is going to be hard. And if you got Joe Flacco playing the way he's been playing, I think this should be a win for the Cleveland Browns here.
Um, I'm gonna agree on one thing. I'm gonna agree with the fact that Cleveland does win. I don't think that it really is the Joe Flacco show. It's the
Well, I
fact of it
think the
being,
defense is going to be better than the
but I'm talking like I would have put money like I CJ Stroud's done very good against good defenses, but Cleveland's best two offensive pieces right now, being Amari Cooper and David Njoku, are both facing the worst at the division in Houston. Houston's been horrible at that receiver spot and the tight end. I think that's going to be what really leads it. I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm going to say 27-23 final. The Browns pulling off the victory and advancing to the next round.
Okay. Um, Next we have, and I have to stress this is the next Saturday. This is the second Saturday game of the day. And I have to stress this to other people that are watching this. that may not know, this is an exclusive Peacock game unless you live in the local Kansas City market. I don't know where that far away goes to for other states near it. But unless you live in that Kansas City market or the Miami market, wherever that leads to from the Florida Blorters, from the three teams that are in there. But those local markets are the only markets that are going to get this game on television. Everybody else in the United States, as well as the rest of the world, is watching football. It is a Peacock exclusive for anybody who wants to watch this game. It is the Miami Dolphins at the Kansas City Chiefs.
And you forgot the most important thing.
What? That's Pat.
It's supposed to
Oh,
be minus 30-degree wind chill on
minus 30.
Saturday.
Well, there's that too in Kansas City.
Yeah, it's supposed to be minus 30 degrees and possibly white out.
Is it going to be snow or is it's just going to be really
It's
cold?
gonna possibly be snow, and it's supposed to be an ugly, ugly weather game, which already bodes the way I'm gonna choose.
And who are the favorites?
The Chiefs are a 4.5-point favorite.
Yeah. Especially with that weather that you take into account. Now Kansas City normally doesn't get like that many cold weather games, but it is possible to get them, but it's not as likely as it would be around here per se. But that being said, they're probably more accustomed to it than the Dolphins are because Dolphins and Miami rarely get it at ever. So um and it's Patrick Mahomes and the Travis Kelce. I mean, they haven't been playing as good as they normally do, but they still have, I think, the better experience than the Dolphins do in this situation as well. So I am going to say the Kansas City Chiefs do pull it out. It's probably going to be a low scoring game. It's probably going to be like maybe 14-6 because of the weather.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real boring game, I think, because of that weather. Dolphins fans are gonna have to be checked on if you're a friend of a Dolphins fan. Make sure they're okay because they won the AFC East, back in week 10, but then they also didn't win the AFC East, so like they're already in crumbling mode. Um, you're giving Patrick Mahomes a home game. He's at least getting one. Mahomes is at home in bad weather. Miami's already crumbling. One of potentially the best bright spots for Kansas City is that secondary on the defense. I'm saying Kansas City gets it done. I'm going to say 17-10 final.
Okay. All right. Now we go to Sunday. This is January 14th. Saturdays was January 13th, if I didn't say that. The first game at 1:00 is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills. Your two teams, man. Who are the favorites?
The Bills are a 10-point favorite.
Oh, they give them a lot of respect here.
I don't like that favorite until I see the forecast because as of right now, they're calling for 40-mile-per-hour winds and possible whiteouts.
So it's gonna be snow, or is it just
It's going to be snowing sideways, which is going to affect that pass game heavily.
And the Steelers are they're a snow team too. So I mean, it's not going to be like a hot weather team versus a cold weather team. So even though they're the home team, it's still it's still balanced.
And the only thing that benefits Buffalo in that scenario is both teams have learned how to run the ball at a decent rate.
Yeah,
And
I would
Buffalo
say the
has
Bills are a
better
better
run
run team.
defense.
They're a better run
But
team.
the Bills have a better run defense. So
I think I think the Bills have a better running game though too. I think they can run the ball better than the Steelers can.
well, I mean, add Josh Allen in there, and yeah, I'd agree to an extent.
Yeah. But I think the Buffalo Bills do get it out. They're a more experienced team. The Steelers, I believe is Rudolph's the one who's playing, right? They're not.
That's what they're currently saying is it's going to be Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. So Rudolph is a veteran backup, but I mean he's a backup. Josh Allen obviously is Josh Allen. He's a star. So I give more the edge there. And I just think the Bills just have a better team than the Steelers do right now. Steelers are fighting obviously, but I think at the end of the day, the Bills overpower them. And I think the Buffalo Bills get it done pretty easily. I think it's going to be 23-10. I think they'll rely on a huge running game as much as a passing, especially with Allen's run abilities as well as the running game. You got the run stop defense on the Steelers, which is going to be a huge blow to them. But yeah, 23-10. They're not going to score that many points, but they're going to score enough. And then I think they'll just wind the clock down, because of the bad weather. If the weather is that bad, it'll be one of those things where they get up pretty easily. Steelers won't be able to do as much. And then they'll just try to run the clock down, and it will just be kind of like a low scoring game there. You probably won't see any points in the fourth quarter and stuff like that. And that's kind of how I see it in 23-10 Buffalo.
I'm going to keep it somewhat close to you. I'm going to go Buffalo 27-7. Um, if it's a fair weather game and you don't have the wind and it's light flurries, I could see it being more like 35 to like 21. Pittsburgh's receivers are starting to fire up, but if there's going to be a passing game taken away, 3 touchdowns from the Bills and hold the Steelers 27-7 is what my call is.
Yeah, I would agree with that to a certain extent too. If it's a fair weather game, the Bills probably will get 31 to 13 or something like that on there. But if it's like the bad weather game like we're thinking it might be, it's probably gonna be 23-10 is what I'm thinking. For low scoring. But yeah, that's kind of the scenario. I kind of agree with that as well. But anyways, for the next game, we have 4:30. Um my Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys are a 7-point favorite.
Of course they would say that. Oh God.
Are you ready to face Mike McCarthy?
Oh no, I'm not afraid of that, man. We've beaten him before. We've beaten him before since he's been a Cowboy. I'm not afraid of that. It's just they're undefeated at home, though technically they shouldn't be undefeated at home since they should have lost to the Lions. And that means we should be playing the Lions right now if that had happened the way it should have happened. Oh God. I don't know. I mean, I think we could win this game depending on how the game goes, but also at the same time, our defense is really, really bad. And I don't like Dak Prescott, I think is going to go wild on our defense. And if that happens, I don't see how we could win. Jordan Love, has made strides, but he's still an inexperienced quarterback. And he's also not good in the clutch. He's not good in the 2-minute drill. He's been very inconsistent when it comes to when the lead is on the line to make the right situationals. Fourth down, he had that botch snap the one time this year. He's not very good in a lot of the situation, especially that thing right before halftime against the Bears. We could have had, a touchdown or even a field goal going in a half, and he didn't, he screwed up on that play right there, I would have just, after that almost interception play, I would have just went to kicking the field goal at that point. But they ran a play and they ran the clock out, and that was horribly executed. And that's my concern with Josh Allen, or not just, why am I freaking saying Josh Allen? Jordan Love, is that he's not good on the 2-minute drill. As it pains me to say this, I don't think we're going to win this game, though I'm going to still be rooting for my team. But I have to say what I'm calling right now. I think the Cowboys will unfortunately win, though I am happy that we're in the playoffs because I didn't think we would make the playoffs this year. But I think we're going to lose 27-14.
Well, if this was the game you were hoping that I would pick against you on, you're wrong. And I know why you're picking Dallas because the last 2 times you picked against the Packers
I just
actually
don't
won those
see it. I
games.
just don't see it. I don't see how we can win. I'm trying to find ways for us to win. I just can't see it. The Cowboys have a better overall team, and
I
the
think the
Packers are too young right now. And
I think the
again, Allen is not good on the 2-minute drill. He's not good in the
Love.
clutch. Jordan Love.
I think the biggest concern for your Packers is they are abysmal against the slot corner. Slot corner for Dallas is CeeDee Lamb. I am going to take Dallas 38, Green Bay 13.
All right. Next, we have the Sunday 8 o'clock game. We have the LA Rams at the Detroit Lions. You have the Matthew Stafford versus
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. Yeah, Jared Goff. The Jared Goff trade and stuff like that. So where
You got to slow down when you say that name.
what's the favorites?
It sounds like you're calling him jerk off. The Lions are a 3-point favorite.
Yeah, both of these teams obviously, won in their trade. The Rams got a Super Bowl out of Stafford, and Jared Goff, like, you know, has kind of revived the Lions' fortune with
But even more so, they
Campbell.
got first round picks out of that deal as well. So
Yeah. So no matter who wins this, I don't think this means, oh, this person won or this one person won more. But I do think the Detroit Lions win. That they're a better team overall than the Rams right now. I mean, the Rams being in the playoffs alone is an accomplishment because I don't think anyone thought the Rams would be here, especially when they lost all they traded all the way their draft picks from the Super Bowl they had a couple of years ago. So kudos to them for getting there. But I still think the Detroit Lions are going to win, and this is going to be obviously a big day for the city of Detroit because they haven't won anything in years. But Detroit Lions, I think, will win 26 to 17.
I agree with Detroit. The Rams still feel like the Rams feel like everything that came out of the NFC West for years. Like they're an average team. They're not gonna be the best team, but like they're a playoff team, kind of. Um, I think Detroit wins this one 31 to 27. It's a tight game, but Detroit ekes it out. Dan Campbell gets that playoff victory.
Yeah. All right. Now we have the Monday night football game at 8 o'clock, January 15th. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay
The
Buccaneers.
Eagles are a 3-point favorite. I'm gonna
I'm
hijack this
surprised
one
about
so
that. I'm
so
surprised by
we
that.
don't go through and it looks like I'm just copying all your picks here. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. Um, I don't trust the Eagles. The Eagles have proven that something is not right in that locker room. Something's not right.
And I called that weeks ago too. I called that
Something's
weeks
not
ago.
right coaching wise. There's a lot of injuries. AJ Brown's still not healthy. Jalen Hurts doesn't seem healthy. Devonta Smith might not be healthy. As much as the Tampa defense is not good, Philadelphia is just flat. I'm going to say Tampa gets this one 28 to 27. It's a 1 point game.
Oh, so they missed an extra point.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I am surprised the Eagles were the favorites in this because I just don't see it. I mean, they have a better, I guess because they have the better record going into this, but Tampa's getting the home field. And while I am still sketchy on the Buccaneers because, I mean, they did lose to the Saints 2 weeks ago and they barely beat the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers are a shitty team. They only won 9-0. And that's
Panthers
mainly
have a better defense than the Eagles. Let's be fair.
yeah, yeah, the Panthers are not good, but that's what I'm saying. The Buccaneers didn't play that great against the Panthers, but they did enough to beat them because the Panthers are a shitty team. But at the same time, I am skeptical on the Buccaneers. But at the same time, I'm more skeptical on the Philadelphia Eagles right now on what the way they are, the injury proneness to it, or what's going on behind the scenes. I called this weeks ago about the Eagles going all the way back to the Kansas City win that they barely won, that they really shouldn't have won. Um, so they've been just kind of flat, and the Bucks have the home field because they won their division. So I am going to go with Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game, and I'm going to say that it is going to be. Uh, I'm going to give it 21 to 7. I think the Eagles are going to look sloppy in this game, and I think the Bucks win. And you give Baker Mayfield to show a little proof that he can be the guy, and that's what he's been kind of doing all season. And you give him his little playoff win as a Buccaneer. So that's kind of how I feel how it's going to go.
All right.
And that is it. That is
Yeah,
the Monday
neither of
night.
us can make up any ground this week.
Yeah. So yeah. Make sure to comment, rate, subscribe. Look out for the Packers special playoff beast recap thing. Hopefully the Packers do overachieve and prove me wrong and we win because I'll be happy, obviously, if we do win. Um, for that beast recap video, as well as looking for the shorts. We're gonna try to put as many shorts as I can possibly put out this week. Since it's really backed up right now. And yeah, comment, rate, subscribe, look at the website and redirect, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And also make sure to check out the ice cream 2 scoop thing, right, Kyle?
Nicky Two Scoops, he's closed through the rest of the month, but he'll be reopened in November or in February.
Okay, and your chicken
Shout
dip.
out to our dude Kyle Chicken Dippin'. Hit him up online, chickendippin.com or chicken_dippin'. Use code 716 for 15% off your order.
All right, perfect. And that's it, guys. We'll see you guys next week for the next playoff round. I am the S Ultimate Goku. He's Rain 48. We out of here. Peace.